Okay, there's a massive mistake on the screen and you might be making it at home when you're sim racing. So in this video I'm going to explain what it is. I'm going to explain some weird, mysterious things that happen as well, like proper spooky things, like X-Files kind of stuff, and hopefully stop you from being slower because of your equipment. So these are the settings I've got right now. Looks normal, right? 25 Newton wheelbase. We're on the Moza R25 here. And I'm going to go on track. Have a look. If you bought this wheelbase, this is not the way to do it. You're going to be slower here. It's going to be dangerous. In fact, don't do this at home, okay? Don't do this at home. So already I can feel the LFE effects coming through. These new generation wheelbases, like the R25, you get all the vibrations. You can tune it. I'll explain what I've done. But basically with the RPM, it's coming through. It's also vibrating my rig, which I'll get onto. And already, I'm struggling. Don't do this at home. Don't do this at home. I'm struggling to get out of the pit lane. This is Silverstone. Remember, I've driven this layout in many different cars. This is actually already, I would say, dangerous. I'm going to park it here. Okay? I'm going to park it here. I've already drawn blood. Okay? So that is running a 25 Newton meter wheelbase at these settings. Now, iRacing is really, I think, really stupid with the way it describes this. I don't understand why they do this. Obviously, other sims do it in different ways. I think most other sims do it in a better way. But you can see here, it's detected the wheelbase 25 Newton meters, and I'm running it at 25, whatever that means. Okay, that is way too high. If you buy a 25 Newton meter wheelbase, whether it's the Moza R25, whether it's anything else, do not run it that high. That's not what you're meant to do. And this is kind of like an unspoken. So I want to speak about it. And this video is sponsored by Moza. They said, hey, do you want to do a settings guide for the R25? And I said, yeah, I want to explain to people like how to actually run these wheelbases. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn it down to 2. Okay. So there's a big difference. Okay. All the way down to 2. Interestingly, the LFE for me is the same. Like these are the same vibrations through the wheel and through the rig. And this is a mysterious thing. Okay. With these new generation wheelbases that do telemetry effects and all these LFE and high frequency vibrations, they can vibrate stuff at very specific frequencies. And sometimes, and I'm not I'm not talking about this in like some new age thing. I think in a very scientific way, I suspect the frequencies can start to vibrate things on your rig. So a certain frequency might start to like unscrew bolts on your rig, or a certain frequency might really shake something on your rig. So you want to tune that in here in Moza Pit House. There's like an EQ or in the game. But just be aware, if you get one of these wheelbases and you hear some clattering or some shaking, you might think, oh, that's from the wheelbase. I think it's actually the wheelbase vibrating at a frequency that, because the wheelbase is connected to a rig and everything's connected to everything, right? I think it starts to like vibrate something. So just worth bearing in mind. That's why I tune the LFE. I try and tune those things out. So I've got a really nice sensation here of the engine, the RPM, the engine revving. I can feel this in the pedals. I'm not using the Moza active pedals right now. I'm using non-active pedals, but I can feel the pedals vibrating because everything's connected. Yeah, pretty crazy. Okay, so let's see what happens here at 2. So already you can see I can drive out the pits here. The LFE is still the same though. By the way, this is all on cold tyres in the 296, so it's a dangerous car. Obviously, if you've seen it in the news recently, unfortunately, it's a deadly car. RIP. I drove the 488 GT in America, the predecessor to this, and it seemed very nice to drive. So I don't know if the 296 is just a bit more ruthless on the tyres, but anyway. So you can see I can drive like this. Okay, fingertip driving. Now for me, this is too light for this kind of car. For this kind of car and this kind of sim, it's too light because there's too much power. That I need to warm up the tyres. There's too much power available. So if I will probably spin this car on this lap, just to be clear, okay? And probably it will happen when I'm on the throttle. It won't happen when I'm on the brake. Because I can't feel that back end stepping around. There we go. I can't feel that back end stepping around. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here when I'm in this very precarious position. I'm going to go up. Normally I run this R25 on 567. Okay, so I'll put it up to 8. Okay, so again, you saw me driving on 25, like very dangerous, don't do it. You saw me driving on 2, again, that's out of the sweet spot. Those are both ways not to use this wheelbase. You're going to be too slow. Let's go to 8 now, okay? Okay. Now already I can tell you this is probably too heavy for me. I think 8, whatever this setting equates to, let the Mustang go by, is probably what a lot of people drive at. Because I think a lot of people want to feel like you're getting the most out of your wheelbase. I mean, this wheelbase is $899. The R21, which I've also done all the experimentation with and all the settings, is $699. So that's my baby. So that is expensive, right? And you want to feel like you're getting the most value for money. But actually, that's wrong, and I'm going to explain why that's wrong. Like, you don't need to run these wheelbases high on the FFB strength. As we come into Stowe here, this is going to be very difficult. I'm really tight here. I can't turn that car in much more. I can get around the corner at that speed, but I can't turn it more. And when you're driving around and you can't turn the wheel anymore, when you might want to experiment like there or like there, even though I'm going around, that's dangerous. Not in a safety sense anymore, but it's dangerous because you can't experiment. You can't iterate on your line. You can't think, what if I try and approach this a bit differently? Yeah, you can get round. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, that was so... Honestly, that corner farm is just so much fun when you have a wheelbase and pedals really dialed in. Like, let me know in the comments if you agree. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go to... I'm actually going to go to 4.1, okay? Now, this should be much more in my sort of like... And you think, what the hell? Why are you running a 25 Newton meter wheelbase so slowly? Or so low force feedback? Well, like I explained, the LFE and everything is still the same. So now, because I'm not saturated, when I'm on that 25 setting, for example, and I'm in the middle of a corner, I can't do anything else. I can't make any adjustments. I can't appreciate the LFE. I can't make decisions based on what I'm feeling with the LFE, the low frequency effects. I'm completely saturated. Whereas here, I can feel those low frequency effects and I can adjust my driving style accordingly. I can make micro adjustments. I can have that really aggressive style. I'm like, you know, I really want to keep turning in, carry as much speed as possible. I can do that now. So the dynamic range, the perceivable dynamic range, the dynamic range on which I can act on is much better right now. Even though I'm running this wheelbase at nowhere near, love it, at nowhere near is 25 Newton meter. Oh, no. That's 25 Newton meter capacity. Okay, I'll tell you what we do. We're going to go into a race now here at Silverstone. So I will accelerate this. This, for me, this is my sweet spot around here. Like, I probably want a little bit more than this, so I might up it a tiny bit more. But I don't want any less than this. You could see there in the way that we had that moment out of farm again. Like, I just want to be a little bit kind of like in that nice soupy force feedback. When I say soupy, it's kind of like you're in it, you're feeling it, you're connected. You're not becoming saturated yourself. Forget about the wheelbase clipping. It's like, when are you going to become saturated in terms of the feelings you're experiencing? Okay, so let's start here. What I'll do is I'll just up it a little bit to 4.6. This is normally when I'm running this R25 wheelbase. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but Moza are doing a holiday sale at the moment. I'll put the code in the description. But basically, it's an extra $20 off everything. So obviously, you can take $20 off the R21, R25, but you can also take $20 or £20 off the R3. So the R3 at the moment is like $279. It goes down to $259. No one's talking about this. Maybe it overrides like people's affiliate links, like my affiliate link. I don't know. But also, don't care because I'm going to save you another 20 quid. So definitely worth checking out if you're in Moza and you want an extra $20 or 20 quid or something. Okay, so we are properly locked in right now. I've got lovely LFE. I don't know, I can't show you the sensation of LFE, unfortunately, but I'm just feeling it. And I feel like the perception that people have of iRacing, and we're just using iRacing as an example. We could very easily use Le Mans Ultimate or AC Evo or whatever. I just wanted to use iRacing here. But when people say iRacing has poor force feedback, you can't feel anything, I suspect a lot of people might not be driving with LFE, because for me LFE changes everything because it's very tunable. You can see here, the difficulty of this race is quite high actually. But we're just kind of chilling. We feel really in control, want to come through farm, want to load it up. Oh, yes, 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 yes. I can feel the force feedback. Look at that, I can turn in more. I have muscle memory with like my wrists and everything. I know when I'm in that good area of force feedback. And you've got to remember, I review a lot of wheelbases from a lot of different companies, not just Moza. And I'm used to trying them out at like high settings. I also go to a lot of expos, I go to a lot of events where often the wheelbases there are set up really low. So I try a lot of wheelbases at really low settings. So I'm not someone who's just sat using the same setting for years. I'm experiencing lots of different settings and wheelbases all the time. And I can tell you with confidence that this is the kind of settings that I enjoy. And you can see, I can't actually see it because it's obscured by my camera. But hopefully you'll be able to see that nothing is going to be saturating because I've kept nothing's going to be clipping in iRacing because I kept the force feedback in Moza Pit House at the full 25 Newton meters. Important point on that, I would say, unless you consider yourself a sim racing equipment pro, I honestly would just lower the settings in Moza Pit House. I would start by taking some clipping, but keeping it safe. By knowing that your wheelbase is not going to draw blood or take your hand off, and then I would start to, like over time, increase it in Moza Pit House, but decrease it in the game. If that makes sense, I wouldn't off the bat trust yourself or trust the game to keep you safe by just lowering the game. I had an issue in Project Motor Racing where. Basically, and this might have been on the R16, I'm not sure, where basically it just they had a wrong setting in the game that they had to patch out that was causing really intense rotations upon impact with other cars. That was just stupid, and you can see the video I made on it. But this is so nice right now, like, that's a cheeky one, that's a cheeky one. Let's go into farm, come on. Ah, no, too much, too much, too much. Honestly, one of the most fun corners in motorsport for me. Much more fun than cops. Really underrated. So again here, if I want to turn in a bit more, there we go, I can turn in more. Why might I want to turn in more? Because I might just want to scrub a bit more speed. And I might want to scrub the speed by having the tyres at like more of an oblique angle, rather than getting on the brake and everything that entails with the brake and the engine, you know, and the pitching of the car. Sometimes I just want to scrub a little bit of speed by just trying to aim for the apex more, knowing I'm not gonna really get materially close to the apex. Not about that. It's about just scrubbing off the speed. And now I feel absolutely capable doing it. This is a really, really, really nice setting as we go deep here. And this is a very tricky exit corner here. Very tricky. Very tricky in real life as well, I have to say. If you look at my real life videos I've done at this corner, you know I just wanted to do farm, come on. Ah, rev's too low, rev's too low. But I love pitching in the car, absolutely love it. Okay, so what I'll do is, I'll just park out the way here. By the way, I think the R25 is a better wheelbase than the R21, and it might have something to do with the torque sensor, but for $200, it's a trade-off. So let me know if you want me to do a deep dive on R25 versus R21. So here we go. These are the settings I've got at the moment. I'm going to press the detect button and see what it says. So that detect button has gone to 6. I honestly think 6 is going to be too much. I think 6 is going to be too much for me. So I'm going to keep it at 5. And you can see here, this is what I've got on the LFE. One thing I would say that this wheel slip is it's not gonna save you. Like that wheel slip really comes into its own when you're like already in a spin, and then you hear like, so it's not something that it's gonna alert you before you go into a spin. So it's not a game changer in that sense. But this is what I have for my LFE. Let me know what you have in the comments. Let me know on your thoughts on running these sort of wheelbases. Hopefully it's been helpful to show you what not to do and avoid being slower. Yeah, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.